expert before I took over.
Good evening. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Show Low City Council to order. By roll call, see that all council members are present with the exception of Councilmember Alsop, who's excused this evening. We'd like to welcome those of you who are with us here tonight in the audience, as well as those who may be enjoying us at home on City 56 or some other stream of the internet. We'd like to begin this evening with an invocation. We've asked Councilmember Kelly if he'd lead us in a word of prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Crittenden. Those who'd like to join with us, please stand.
Thank you. Our Father in heaven, dear God, I thank you for the very privilege of living on this mountain. You've made it so beautiful. I thank you for the opportunity to serve and to serve with this council. I hear stories about others that are just horrifying, and I'm glad to report that we don't enjoy or suffer through those kind of conflicts. I ask you to give us wisdom tonight that we might consider every issue before us and do what is best for the city. Guide us and direct us. Be with our service personnel at home and abroad. Forgive us where we fail you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Kelly and Councilmember Crittenden. I appreciate that. First item tonight is call to the public. Any citizen desiring to speak on a matter that's not on the agenda may do so at this time. Know that you need to keep your time limited to 3 minutes, and council can only respond by asking staff to look into a matter. We've had one person here so far. Carrie Leach, if you'd like to come forward. State your name and address, please.
My name is Carrie Leach. It's CarylEach. I live at 121 North 9th Avenue. And I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for this opportunity. As some of you know, especially Ed Meter, and others have seen our light display over in the country club last year, honoring the veterans, firemen, first responders, and also just the basic spirit of Christmas, even putting Christ back in, which is okay nowadays with our new leadership. We propose, since we do not want to be in competition with the city, we have thousands of lights and the technology to make 350,000 lights go to music in 10 different colors. Doesn't need to be programmed. We have on hand, I'm thinking about 40,000 lights. And my son also has Aaron Leach, which is a well-lens firefighter. He's in the audience tonight as well. I would propose that we join forces in decorating from the end of the library to hunting and decorating the trees and doing a Christmas spectacular all in music. Even your buildings can go to the music. And when there's no audio present, all the lights come on full. If you want to take a brief pause between songs or just kill the audio, so play the audio, you can see all the lights come up full. We've had great success in various venues, especially down in the valley. Channel 12 covered our show at our home a few years ago called Week of Wishes. My son was picked number 1 out of 400 wishes that they come out and bring the groups of people to come and see our lights. It's quite the display and spectacular for those who, I think, Mayor Seymour, you saw it last year from your car, and Ed has seen it, and perhaps a few of the other council members. We'd like to join forces. I was thinking of putting a wire cable across the tops of your lights to create a canopy of light that would be a tunnel, and also just light all the big trees up really nice, and be able to broadcast it on FM. And I can get with some details that the cost of building a decent little transmitter is not thousands of dollars. I am an electronic technician. We can get a kit that's very professional for about $260. And then he would have his speakers out. Maybe if we could set up a booth and have you supply power from this building with a portable cable and outlets to plug it in, and then we could figure the wiring if, with the help of some of your staff. Aaron and myself are willing to donate our time. It's not about the money. We've donated our time and done the best, but I think we can be a wonderful companionship. The city, we've done cities before down in the valley with great success with different venues. And again, we had the NBC network cover our event, and that was very successful. I want you to consider that if you will. Then we can sit down and talk details. I got some cute ideas. For example, your little jailhouse. Put Santa and Rudolph in there.
Your
and-
3 minutes are up. Is there anybody who wants to yield another 3 minutes?
Okay.
You have another 3 minutes.
Okay. Put Santa and Rudolph in there and have a sign that says even Santa and Rudolph have to be the speed laws in Show Low. Some cute things we could do. And also have booths. We did a consignment thing one time where you have booths brought in for cookies and chocolate of various community groups, and the city would take 10% of the sales each day. Don't charge anything for the booth, and some cities had great success with that. So as these booths are having great success, and I have seen some numbers come through town, down in Pine Top and other places, that this could be a win-win situation for everybody. I would just want you to consider, this is 2 months out. We usually start on Thanksgiving weekend on our venues, and I could work with Public Works and whatever else, and with people with ideas. That's basically what I'm proposing to the city, that you help be partners with us, because we live right across the street. We don't want to necessarily run a separate venue. We have the technology. It's in place. We don't have to build it. I have it.
Great.
So please consider that. And Ed Muter has my phone number, contact information, if you would decide to create a little committee to make this happen. That's it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Al Beswick.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council representatives, and everybody that's here. My name's Al. I've been a resident for 4.5 years. Beautiful, beautiful city. Enjoy very much. I'm here sort of on behalf of the dog park people. There's a group of us at the dog park, and we thoroughly enjoy not only the dog park, but the entire park. Beautiful, beautiful area. I'm here basically to say thank you to everybody here that's participated, that's helped us in improving. We've got a parking lot, which is just beautiful, just amazing. So we really appreciate that. And the improved maintenance of the park. Very much appreciated. I want to thank everybody that had anything to do with that. And a special thanks to Jay Brimhall. He's been very helpful with us in taking care of that. And again, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for all your help.
Appreciate
And
that.
that was it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the thank you.
I'd just like to direct staff on the first item, if they would possibly look into that, if there's any chance of having a meeting with them and see if there's anything else. Does anybody else have any other direction? they'd
No,
like to share?
I think that would be up to staff to get it set up, so.
At this time, any other personnel that would like to share anything on call to the public? Seeing nobody moved, I'll close call the public and come back to our consent calendar, item 6. We have 3 items on the consent calendar tonight. Is there just a note on 6A? The actual correction of the amount of payment and retention is $19,710.94 on the final payment here for the pickleball courts. It was kind of a misprint in your packet there. So we have consideration of acceptance of the construction of the pickleball courts, consideration of reappointment of the Director to Industrial Development Authority, and the minutes of the September 18th meeting.
So move.
We have a motion by Councilmember Leach. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Kelly. Any other discussion? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? I see that passed 6-0. Next item is public hearing, an application submitted by Ryan Paul Hatzenbiller on behalf of Rumors Cocktail Lounge for number 6 bar and liquor license for its location at 1457 East Dusa Clubs. Turn the time to Miss Ann Kurosaki.
Thank you, Mayor. Ryan Hotzenbeiler, who represents Rumors Cocktail Lounge, submitted a person transfer application to the Department of Liquor Licenses for a number 6 bar liquor license at the location of 1457 East Dusa Clubs. The request would transfer the existing number 6 bar license that's held by Aaron Konchova, the current license holder, to the applicant. Mr. and Mrs. Hotzenbeiler purchased Rumors from Mr. Konchova. As required by state law, we posted the property but received no public input. Mr. Hotzenbeiler is still serving alcohol under an interim permit, which is allowed and valid for 105 days. If this application is not approved before the interim permit expires, he will have to reapply for that. We had the Shoal Police Department conduct a background check on the applicant and co-applicant, Lillian Hotzenbeiler. And as required in the application, Ms. Hotzenbeiler provided a statement explaining an infraction that occurred in the past 5 years, which has been resolved satisfactorily. The Department of Liquor Licenses will conduct its own investigation and background check, and based on the liquor licenses investigators' findings and the council's recommendation, the State Liquor Board will decide whether to approve or deny the application. Here tonight, the applicants are present, should you have any questions. If the council chooses to recommend denial, the motion must state the reason for the denial.
Okay, thank you. We'll bring this back to council. Is there any questions of the applicant or any comments anybody wishes to make? Okay, seeing that this is a public hearing, at this time I'll open this up to the public for public hearing. If anybody would like to talk on this matter, you may do so at this time. Seeing nobody moved, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council for a motion. Councilmember Crittenden.
I move to recommend approval to the State Liquor Board of the application submitted by Ryan Hatzenbiller, did I say that right, of Rumors Cocktail Lounge for a number 6 bar liquor license at 1457 East Dusa Club, Sholo, Arizona.
Do we have a motion? Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Leach. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? See that passed 6-0. Thank you. Thank you for our applicant there. Next item is item 7C, consideration of appointment of a Planning and Zoning Commission member, Ann Kurosaki.
Thank you, Mayor. The recent passing of Don Barry created a vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission. His term expires in March of next year, so the new appointee will fill the remainder of the term. Typically, commissioners' terms are 4 years, and this position will be advertised early next year. We received 4 applications, for the one vacancy. The applicants are Shireen Cayley, Joseph Clark, Robert Hefner, and Chris Hudson. And the 4 applicants were interviewed earlier tonight by the council. So attached, you have the questionnaire. If you would please send those down, we will tally it. And based on the results, the council may make a motion based on the results.
I'm going to need Friday. Okay. And then we got 3 weddings.
Okay. Well, we actually have a tie.
Where's the cards?
The two applicants who received tie votes are Robert Hefner and Chris Hudson.
Okay. All right, we normally break this with a tie, guys, deuce of clubs. So we are gonna get a deck of cards. If somebody can, we're just gonna hold this, if somebody can get us a deck of cards. And a little later, we'll come back to this item before we.
And
close
neither
here.
one of you two can bring your own cards.
Is that possible?
I think she may have one in, you have one in there?
Yeah, we're not sure.
Sure glad they call us the deuce of clubs. We don't have cards on hand. Probably got some in my truck.
We also have
extra
extra
My
questionnaires.
computer just crashed. It went completely white.
Do you have any over?
You wanna do it?
I'll find one, and then you'll just, maybe move on to Snyder and come.
Hudson said he wouldn't.
Yep, they're in there.
Let's go on to the next
Here we
item. She have them. All right, we have the two,
Can we take and do half the deck or something?
you two gentlemen come up.
No, they tell they get.
I want you to verify that there's a deuce of clubs in the. Okay.
Huh?
There it is, take the joke out of it.
No,
Mayor.
Daryl.
Good luck, guys. That worked for me. I ain't even got the deck of cards.
This could take a while.
You guys could walk, back and face each other and draw them, the open way.
He loves
Know how to shuffle cards.
Yeah, what's going on here?
This. Let's get this on camera.
Did you learn that on a mission or what?
He's been practicing.
Got another,
Back, take some paces.
How do you determine who gets to go first?
We're gonna draw for that, no.
I'm not in mine. I'm
Not
in
show
my deck
low,
of
but
cards
show
and
high to
both
see who
members.
gets to go
Okay.
first, right?
You, cut the deck and then you draw first, okay?
Completely white. Is your?
Get her out.
Okay, we'll go from the top and go down. Turn it over.
Under the same.
Just.
Top card.
It's the top card.
Woo, deuce, but it's not the clubs.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
We just go all the way through the deck, huh? Keep
Queen,
going. We hit the
seven
deuce of
hearts.
clubs.
One of you guys got to put a hat on to be doing that. You know?
Another deuce.
Another deuce, but not
Because he's got two deuces over
here. Oh, man.
Woo! That's it. Chris Hudson. Congratulations. Here, Chris, it's only fitting that you get this
I
deck.
gotta keep this.
Okay.
Thank you.
This gentleman?
Now you need to
Yeah,
put
he
a
said
hat
he
on.
would, he would. Yeah.
That worked out.
Mhm.
The loser said he would accept.
Yep. There we go. Thank you. I'll make a motion. I move to appoint Chris Hudson to the Board of Adjustments for the City of Show Low to terms expiring March.
Planning and Zoning Commission.
Board of, my mistake, sorry. Two of them here. I move to appoint Chris Hudson to the Planning and Zoning Commission for the City of Show Low to a term expiring March 2019. Motion and a second by Vice Mayor. All those in favor? Any opposed? Did that pass 6-0? Next item we have is I move to appoint two names, and Rob, are you still willing to fulfill that other position there? Okay. At this time. I move to, our next item is consideration of appointment of Board of Adjustment members, and Kurosaki.
Thank you, Mayor. There are two vacancies, as you said, on the Board of Adjustment. One was created when one member, Lisa Horn, relocated to the Valley. The other when member Bill Thomas passed away. Both terms expire March 2019. We advertised the vacancies. We received one application from James Zimmerman, who the council interviewed tonight. And the council has the option to appoint Mr. Zimmerman and choose one of the commission applicants that were interviewed earlier tonight.
Does anybody would like to make a motion? Councilwoman Kakamas.
I move to appoint James Zimmerman and Rob Hepner to the Board of Adjustments
Can you list their term expiring?
with the term to expire March 2019.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there seconded by Councilmember Kelly? Any discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that passed 6-0. Chris, I don't know how you drew 3 deuces, man. That's pretty impressive there tonight.
So on your way home, lottery ticket or something?
Go to the exchange, correct.
Guys, thank you so much, and we thank all those candidates who put their names in, and we appreciate your willingness to serve. That means a lot. It's really great to have the pool of people that we had for those positions, but thank you very much tonight. Next item is item 7E, consideration of investment grade audit agreement with Schneider Electric and technical energy audit of city facilities. Mr. Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. The City of Show Low strives to find ways to address unfunded infrastructure needs, modernize city infrastructure, and maximize energy and operational savings. Following a preliminary analysis of the city's infrastructure facilities and energy consumption data, Schneider Electric identified roughly $3 million in capital improvements that the city can address with a self-funding solution. An investment-grade audit would further refine the details of Schneider's comprehensive improvement program and would provide the city with a turnkey energy conservation and modernization solution that can be paid for totally through energy and operational cost savings. Should the city implement some or all of the energy conservation measures recommended in the audit report, the city is under no payment obligation for the IGA agreement, and all costs incurred during the IGA will be included in the guaranteed energy savings contract. If the city chooses not to proceed with any of the recommended energy conservation measures, it will be only obligated to pay Schneider Electric $54,000 for the design and engineering of the investment grade audit. Staff's available for questions. We also have Mr. Brandon Woodward from Schneider Electric here to help us if we need.
Thank you. Councilmember Leach.
I guess the question I have is, what's the difference between this and APS came in here, how many years ago was that? And they came in here and did kind of the same thing you just said.
Yeah, the company was called Amoresco, and they came in 2011. I think the difference with this one is we're looking at different technologies now, even though it was only 7 years ago. Like all the light fixtures at the time wasn't feasible to do LED because it was too expensive. A lot of the light stuff now would go to LED, which is different and wasn't really available because it was not affordable.
Any other comments or questions? Councilmember Crittenden.
I may have missed something. If we don't do anything, we pay $54,000. Is our total charge going to be from them?
If we don't do anything?
No, if we do
a project that they've identified in this, then there won't be any cost for the IGA. So
okay, I'm
we won't pay any
confused.
of the
Are we paying the
54
$54,000 plus or just $54,000 period?
We only pay $54,000 if we choose not to proceed with any of their recommendations. If we do some of their recommendations or all, then we don't pay anything.
But we would pay for the cost of the project, which will be paid for from energy savings.
Yeah. So we wouldn't pay for the IGA and the $54,000, but they still get paid for what they're going to do.
And they are doing the work if we choose to retain them.
Yes.
Okay. So we don't know what it's going to cost.
No, that's what the investment grade audit will tell us, what it's going to cost.
Okay.
I just have a couple of questions of the candidate, if he would, or
Candidate.
if he would share a little bit.
We're done with that one.
Could you share with us, how much of infrastructure or changes normally a city has to, do in order to, break even? Say if we have a $500,000 outlay, what is our return? How soon would we see that 500,000 in savings coming back? What is your overall times, of gaining the savings, I guess, of the infrastructure that we spend?
Yeah, so if I understand the question correctly, if we identify $500,000 in energy upgrades, building modernizations, how long does it take to recuperate that cost?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good question. It really is all over the map as far as what we're doing. If it's something like streetlights or LED lighting has a very quick payback. If it's something like some of the mechanical challenges you're having at the aquatic center, the energy savings isn't necessarily as high as it would be on something like that. That's going to be higher. Typically, it's in the 10 to 15 year range. And that's for a comprehensive. When you've got some of the more costly equipment like at the aquatic center, combined with some of the better payback items like LED lighting, streetlights.
Councilmember Leach.
If you even looked in the aquatic center, I probably wouldn't be very upset. We need to leave that alone because there's probably nothing. Yeah, we don't want to invest any more money in that thing. So just so I understand this, so your company is going to come in here and say those lights are too bright or not efficient enough, and throughout the whole, are you going to identify like the library and the city building? Do you do it citywide? Are we going to break it down? How is this going to go?
Yeah, so we performed a high-level preliminary analysis. That's what I came and shared with the council a couple months ago. That was a high-level look at your utility bills, where are you spending your money, where are some of your more or less efficient facilities. And we came back and identified here's a handful of items that we think that the city could pursue to help save energy and save money. About $200,000, just north of $200,000 in energy savings that we identified. Whether that be within your buildings, exterior lighting, LED lighting at your wastewater facilities, citywide really is where we're looking for. Anything that's using gas, electric, or water, we're looking at ways where we can help to reduce that and save the city money.
Okay, one more and I'm completely done.
Good question.
So you just said that $200,000 mark, then the question that Councilman Crittenden said, so what would our paybacks, you should have some kind of analysis on what it would cost, when we'd get our money back on that $200,000, right? Because if you can identify all the things that we need to replace the 200,000, it's a cost saving, that's how it's going to pay for it. But over years, it's not going to happen tomorrow. So how long of what you guys have already done, how long is that going to take for us to get our money back?
Yeah, and that's based on the scope. We identified a
If we did the whole thing, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. If we did the whole thing, the whole scope, I think it was, somewhere in that same range I said, between 10 and 15 years. And that was, part of that was energy efficiency upgrades, but then also there were some mechanical challenges, some other issues that don't have the best payback, that we're also fixing issues with lower savings compared to saving energy with a lower cost, and putting that together in a comprehensive project that's got somewhere in that 10 to 15 year payback range.
And I guess what I'm trying to get at is the thing we just did, not just 2011. Did that ever show a payback?
I think Justin's got those numbers. If you
Okay.
could share those with us, Justin. a little bit too.
So the finance department put the numbers together, and over 6 years of savings, it was about $399,000.
That's what I was trying to get at. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you for sharing that. Councilmember Kelly.
Yeah. You were talking 200,000. I'm noticing a number here of 3 million. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, if your company recognizes a $3 million capital improvement that the city needs to make, where's that money coming from?
Yeah, so the $200,000 is what we identified. I think it was $217,000 is our preliminary savings assessment. We think there's just north of $200,000 in annual savings for the city to be able to capture. And with that, the scope that gets you to that $200,000, along with some of the mechanical challenges that we talked about, that's about $3 million in building modernization, energy efficiency upgrades.
So where does the 3 million come from to buy all of this?
Oh, where does the money come from? That's a good question. So we set this up, something that was very important to the city was we set this up to where it's completely self-funding. So whatever you're spending on your utility bills now, you're not spending any more than you are in the future. The savings from that is used to pay for the cost of those upgrades. So you won't be spending it between your utility bills and what you're spending on this. You won't be spending any more than what you are previously. you're able to upgrade $3 million in facilities. And if for whatever reason we don't meet that savings, there's a guarantee component of this that we physically write a check for the difference. So if we say we're going to save you $200,000 and we only save you $150,000, we're writing a check at the end of the year to make you whole and set you to where you're not spending any more than you are currently.
Okay, help me if I'm missing it, but it sounds to me like that if we go with the $3 million capital improvement number, your company does all their study and say, Sholo, you need to spend $3 million on these capital improvements, and you're going to get enough money savings from your utility bills to amortize that over a period of 15 years? Is that what
Yes, sir.
And if it don't, your company's writing a check for the difference. Now, I'm going to beg you ahead of time, don't be insulted, but is that guarantee money going to be escrowed somewhere where we can tap it?
And I'm really glad you brought that up. I think the word guarantee is it's a $5 word these days, and guarantee is not very useful. I'm really proud to say that we've written checks, and I've provided lists to a lot of my customers. Here's the checks that we've written, because at the end of the day, we're doing an analysis on what we think you can save. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what those savings actually will be, and we've missed those guarantees. And a lot of companies will say it's a guaranteed project, and we're happy to say we've never written a check. We have written some checks, and I've shared some success stories with the city of. Here's a city example of somewhere where we missed the calculation on one of the mechanical items, and we missed the guarantee. And we physically wrote them a check to make them whole and fix the issue. And they're now one of our biggest proponents because we missed it, but we made it right.
Okay, may I continue, or do you want to shift gears? I already asked staff this question. I'm going to ask it of you because I think you're the appropriate person to answer it. I look at a project like this and I'm going like, where you guys make your money? I want to understand it. So if we did a $3 million capital improvement, are we contracting with your company to make those improvements? So we're contracting with your company to pay the $3 million for the improvements. And as a company in business to make money, it will cost your company actually less, and the difference is profit. Then if we fail to meet the amortization schedule through cost savings and utilities, you're anteing up the difference. So obviously that would reduce your profit margin. And is it in here that we will get this amortization fixed at 15 years or less? Or where do we get that number?
Yeah, so that's all to be determined. So we've at this point we've done a preliminary assessment, a high level look. We've had our team of engineers on site for one day. That's what we're looking at. We know there's an opportunity. We identified an opportunity to modernize the city and identify those savings. The next step is this investment grade audit where we take that proof of concept, our preliminary assessment, and we dive deeper and realize, all right, what does this actually look like? What will the cost be? What will the savings be? What does the actual scope of work look like for a final project? That's what we're looking at right now, is not whether or not you're doing a project, whether or not we're doing an investment grade audit to further identify that solution. And the $54,000 on there, you mentioned that we get paid that to pay for our services. That does not cover the cost of what we're spending on this investment grade audit. We enter into this in a mindset of a partnership. Another $5 word, but that we're spending over six figures. We've assessed for our budget for this investment grade audit that we will be spending to put this information together for you. So if for whatever reason you don't proceed with a project, we are not making a profit on this at all. We are actually losing money putting this together. So it's not like you're paying us and it's a profit center for us on that IGA. This is something where we know there's an opportunity. We've identified an opportunity with the city, and we're willing to invest our resources to further develop this and come up with what is that price that you're looking for. What is that amortization payback number?
Okay.
It's kind of that old saying, Gene, this is a $54,000 question, okay?
Well, sort of. But again, I'm going to come back to the reason we would have confidence that your company would make up any deficiency is because you have in the past.
I
mean, there's no other, it's a trust thing. I'm going to play the devil's advocate. You already
You do that,
figured that
yeah.
out, right? I know you did. So, you miss it miserably. We paid you $3 million to make infrastructure improvements, and we're saving enough to amortize $1 million, and your company went bankrupt. Where does that leave Show Low?
Schneider is, I don't think will be going bankrupt anytime soon. They've been around for over a century, all over the world. So I don't think that we'll be in that situation. But it's more than just, we've done it before, so we'll do it again. It's in the contract. So what you're looking at is just the IGA contract. The construction contract, after we identify this, in there, it will say that if we do not make you whole and meet those guarantees, we are writing you a check. It's part one. Part two is there's legislation that supports this, that we are required by law to make you whole. And then if that isn't enough, backing that up is our track record on, yes, we've missed guarantees in the past. And instead of using loopholes on here's why you didn't meet your savings and here's why we're not going to write you a check, we'd rather lose money than lose business and lose trust. So it's those two things legally backed by our track record of what we've actually done to make you cities whole.
I'm down to one more point.
I was just going to say it too. I don't think we have to invest the entire $3 million or commit to that. Right. We can do that in phases as we go forward too.
Absolutely.
As we're seeing savings and we can spend more as we're going forward. Okay. Shane.
And I would welcome you to point out what I missed, because in the review document and summary document, it says, and I'm reading it, should the city implement some or all the energy conservation methods recommended in the report, the city is under no payment obligation to your company. Now, if I was playing that for a way to get into something and then get out of it, I'd say we just implement one of your little suggestions and we owe you nothing.
And you're
Some
absolutely
or
right.
all. Huh?
You're absolutely right. If at the end of this, I can't bring a project forward that is attractive enough to make financial enough sense for the city, and you want to implement just one light bulb, then contractually you are not obligated to pay for any of that investor rate audit. And that's my challenge, and that's our risk, is that I am confident. I've seen the numbers, I've walked the sites. I'm confident that we're going to be able to put together a solution that you're going to look at and go, this makes sense. This is a good move for the city, and this helps to save energy, save money, and modernize our city. But you are right. If at the end of this, you don't think it's a good project, you don't think it's right timing, and you want to implement one light bulb, contractually, you are not obligated to pay any of that fee.
Could you share with me then in the contract itself, this is a summary statement, but in the contract, can you show me where it says that?
On page 3, there's a schedule on there of what facilities we're going to be looking at. The second item down from that, right under where you see 54,000, I think it's item B. Thank you. I have to do this from memory. Section 3, item B.
Section 3. It's A, B, and C in the contract, right?
On this page.
Okay.
Yeah, so section 3B, if ESCO fulfills responsibilities of this agreement, customer does not execute a guaranteed energy savings contract in 60 days, you will be paying that $54,000. So no, it does not spell out specifically that you can do one light bulb and be done with that, but this is the entire contract, all 4 pages of it. So how you read that and how your legal interprets that is, that's up to you, but that's how we interpret that, is that if you execute a contract at the end of this, whether that be a $3 million project or whether that be a single light bulb, then contractually you are not obligated to pay that $54,000.
And do you have the authority to make such an insertion in plain English in the contract?
I feel I do, yes.
Huh?
I feel I do, yes.
So it would be modified to so state?
To add in there if you do one light bulb?
Well, yeah, I don't care how you word it, but so it comes in line with, yeah. So if we do one light bulb, we don't owe you the $54,000.
Yeah, if that's something that the city feels that they need in there, then I'm confident enough. And that's my confidence level in this project and this opportunity.
Thank you.
Is that we're willing to invest and make sure that we put together a solution that does make sense for the city.
Thank you.
Councilmember Leach.
Real quick, I'm sure this is broke down somewhere. If you're a $3 million project, you've got it broke down for each, like here, the library, you probably got it broke down that way, right? To come up with that figure, I just don't see it, but
And you won't see it. Yeah, that's a high level budgetary number. We think it's about 3 million.
okay. So we're talking about moving forward or on this. So you're not going to come back to us during this project and now it's 3,500,000. That's kind of where I'm kind of hesitant on this whole project because it's not broke down anywhere. I don't see a figure. I like to see what it's doing. I mean, it's weird to think there's no breakdown on this whole project because I don't want to see that, oh, by the way, we walked in your swimming pool and we need another $100,000 over that $3 million. That's what I don't understand. There's no breakdown of what's going on. Is that the next step?
That is, and that's what this investment grade audit is we're going to be diving into it far deeper than this high level look. And we build this scope collaboratively with the city. So we're not coming back and saying, hey, here's your $3 million project. We come back and say, hey, we've identified 3 million or 2 million, 5 million, whatever that number is. We've identified this much in opportunities. Here's what this potential scope of work looks like. And then we sit down with city staff and say, what makes sense? You can see the payback for each one of these items, which ones are going to be most important to the community, which ones have the best payback. And we build this project together, and that's what that final project looks like. So I'm not coming back and saying, hey, I know we said 3, but it was actually 5. Either pay that or
You
pay the
can probably tell
54,000.
by just a few of the questions that were asked that it's got to be pretty much so we can understand it and read it for every city facility.
Yeah, we are a big believer in open book pricing. We're
Probably
happy to-
wasted about 10 minutes of your time because that's kind of where I was getting at.
Yeah.
Eventually. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Any other questions? Not a look for a motion here.
I don't have it.
I'll make a motion. I move to approve the agreement with Schneider Electric to perform an investment grade audit to determine the scope of work, guaranteed savings amount, energy conservation measures, and fixed project price for comprehensive improvement program, and authorize the mayor or his designee to sign the agreement. I have a motion or a second by Councilwoman Kakavas. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? Did that pass? Did your vote yea or nay, John?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, passed 6-0. Thank you. Sorry.
I voted with my left hand. I'm sorry.
No, I just didn't see it. Was all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Let me-
I'm looking forward to the next phase, I guess. I was kind of building up to my computer crashed.
Next item we have is a summary of current events. I'd like the council members of any summary of current events they'd like to share. Councilmember Crittenden.
I want to remind everybody that tomorrow morning, the Show Low Chamber of Commerce has their monthly breakfast at 8 a.m. at Salterra. I invite all business people to go there. It's a time to interface. It's a time to meet other businesses. It's a time to announce to everybody what your business is, what it does. We all get X amount of a short period of time to talk about your business and et cetera. And I'd invite everybody to go to the chamber breakfast at Salterra tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Thank you. Any other council members wish to share anything? This time I'll turn the time to our city manager for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. We just want to remind the public that there will be a nationwide test of the wireless emergency alert sent to all mobile devices tomorrow at 11:18 a.m. Arizona time. The same message will then be sent 2 minutes later by radio and television broadcasters, cable systems, satellite radio, and television providers. So you'll get an alarm or an alert at 11:18 in the morning on your phones.
I wish they'd do that like at 3 o'clock in the morning. That'd be awesome. Barbecue guys, we're up, so we don't care.
Okay, our recreation staff's offering a free movie in the park this Friday at 7 p.m. at the Ponderosa Field. at City Park, and they're showing Star Wars: The Last Jedi rated PG-13. And for more information, you call 532-4140. There will be a disc golf tournament this weekend with golfers using 2 courses in Show Low at the City Park and the Show Low Bluff Trail. There's also a pickleball tournament at the new pickleball facility with players using those courts at City Campus at 620 East McNeil. Our library is hosting a Teen Read Week next week with activities Tuesday through Friday focusing on the theme Reach for the Stars. And for more information on library events, you can call 532-4070. There's a new event coming to Show Low. It's called the Show Low Film Festival with events and movie showings from October 11th to 14th. And they have a website for more information, showlowfilmfestival.com. In Public Works projects, we continue with the work on the improvement project on 8th Street in McNeil with periodic road closures on either 8th Street or McNeil. We're also continuing with the sewer improvements in the Sierra Vista subdivision. And finally, the new Goodwill store on White Mountain Road will be open to the public next Friday, October 12th at 9 a.m.
Thank you. Councilmember Crittenden?
When did you say the pickleball tournament was?
This weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the new pickleball court, it's just across from the fire station there at the old school. And it's just a great facility. How it's turned
It
out.
went
So-
out about right.
And also there's
Not the
another
tournament,
building, if you
just
haven't came down and
go
seen
play.
the old jailhouse that we just located here on City Square. It's worth taking a little bit of tour back in history of that building. So appreciate staff, appreciate what you guys are doing, but most of all, we appreciate our citizens. And I'm going to end this meeting with a real corny joke, okay? It's Halloween
Not
time.
another one.
It's Halloween time. It's time. What ghost is the best dancer?
Oh, I know.
Be the boogeyman. Okay, so there you go.
Jeez.
Just get ready for Halloween. Make it safe. Have a fun time.
It's
and
terrible.
have a great
She
time.
started out very corny.
The boogeyman's the best
Meetings.
dancer.
We have a schedule of meetings brought up at this time. Does anybody have any other meetings?
Just to let the council know, the 2 facilities the mayor just mentioned, the pickleball courts and the historic jail relocation over by the city hall. We've scheduled a ribbon cutting for those facilities, 9 a.m. Friday at the pickleball courts and 9:30 at the jail building. So we want to make sure the council's aware of that, and if you can be there, please show up.
Great.
And the public's invited to that also.
We need to go into an executive session here to discuss discussion of consultation for legal advice with the attorneys concerning possible property and then records exempt from law for public inspection, and then our executive session minutes of the September 4th. Look for a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion by Councilmember Leach, second by Vice Mayor. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that pass. At this time, we'll adjourn into executive session. Thank you for being here.
That's going to really upset them.
You're welcome.